now 6:30, and my pleasure to call to order this regular meeting of the West Valley City Council here on Tuesday, June 18th, 2013. Let the roll call show that all members of the City Council are present, with the exception of Mayor Mike Winder, who is asked to be excused and may be joining us later in the meeting if schedule and time permits. Also joining us on the dais tonight is our City Recorder, Ms. Sherry McKendrick, and our City Manager, Mr. Wayne Pyle, representing the staff tonight. And each week in this chambers, we assign a council member the honor and responsibility of setting the tone of the meeting with an opening ceremony. And tonight, that honor falls to District 1 Council Member Tom Hune. So, Council Member, the time is now yours.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it very much. I would like to invite all of you stand up and do a pledge of allegiance with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and that Pledge of Allegiance was made a little bit better by the scouts that are in attendance tonight. And item 4 on our agenda is calls for special recognitions, and this time we take to recognize any visiting dignitaries from the state or federal government, and we even like to extend that courtesy to our scouts. And so, see, we have two groups here, and so if we could get, we'd like to have a senior boy leader come up to the microphone and just introduce himself and the troop and what unit they're a part of and what brings them to the council meeting tonight and other things. So I see the election is taking place right here now. We got a winner.
He is the senior one, just scared.
Okay.
Get instructions from his father.
So while you're getting instructions, let's go to the other group then in the back. And when we got a solo scout here, that makes it easy.
My name is Joshua Austin. I'm from Scout Troop 1944 from West Valley City, and I am here to see what goes on in this council meeting and to work for my communications merit manager.
Excellent. Thank you. Not so bad.
My name is Jackson Fulmer. I'm the senior scout in Troop 741 from the 100 West Take.
Okay. Thank you for being here tonight. Item 5 on our agenda is the approval of the June 4th regular meeting minutes. Councilmember, those minutes are before you and ready for your action.
Move for approval of June 4th meeting.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of approving those minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Appears to be unanimous. And we'll now move on to our comment period, where we set aside time for members of the public to kind of provide input on any items that are not up for a public hearing tonight. And I don't believe we've had anybody sign up tonight, but I do see a hand in the audience. So, Mr. Hamburg, you want to come up to the microphone, and we just need you to state your name and address for our records, and you have 5 minutes.
My name is Wayne Hamburg. My address is 3252 Stanton Drive, West Valley City, 84120. I come for you today. I wish to make a complaint about the police department. Karen knows me. She knows she's been in my house several times. A few of you know me from over the years, city council. My wife, a week ago Sunday, had a miscarriage, almost bled to death. I was away from the house at the time. I was upset because I wanted to baptize my child, and there was, I'm really not accepted in the ward that Karen is in, so I don't go. I mean, not that I'm apostate or anything like this, I just don't want to go where I'm just not welcomed. In that ward, I have actually been accused of murdering someone We all know who. Hiding the body, moving the body, inappropriate relationship with him and her together, the whole 9 yards. And I just don't want to deal with that stuff anymore. And literally nobody in the ward will stop that, so I don't go. But anyway, I come home, as soon as I heard my wife had a miscarriage, I come home from Hill Air Force Base doing about 85 miles an hour on a Saturn. Doesn't really geared to do 85, but I came home. Went to go see my wife, I got shoved, told to get out of the house, said my house, it's my house as much as it is yours, I'm not leaving. I went downstairs. I know from being a martial artist, you do not, quarter strength is going to bruise a female. It just happens. And you do that, even though they threw the first punch and you're defending yourself, I'm going to be the one that's going to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. I work on base, I'd pull my security clearance, I'd lose my job immediately. Police come over and they detain me downstairs. I had done nothing, not raised my voice. And some of you know how I can ramble. I said nothing. I kept my mouth shut. Talked to the officer, bored him probably to death. But but he actually held me against my will, 2 officers, and I was unable to leave. No domestic issue. I'm not going to fight. Being a black belt, I've been attacked once. I will never fight again because I about hurt the guy. The guy was 75 pounds heavier than me. Don't want to do that. That's not why I got into it. But most of you know, I couldn't harm a fly. Well, some of my friends probably could and have. I won't. And this is really, we already have a black eye at the police department. I mean, and now my wife has left, okay, which the police enabled her to do. I can't even see my kids. I have no family other than that. This is wrong. This needs to stop. Now, if I was violent, if I was yelling and screaming, that would be a different story. But few of you know me for years. Have you ever seen me do that, Karen? Can you picture me doing that? If I was going to do anything, I'd bore you to death or talk you to death. About the only thing worse than being locked in a room with me might be being stuck in a room with Rosie O'Donnell. But this needs to stop. I mean, I told Mike Winder 2 weeks before the last incident what was going to happen. And it did. I told him where to go search. Guess where they're searching now? Exactly where I told them. You guys aren't talking to me. Gee, if you can sneak a cell phone into Charles Manson in prison, I can surely get a phone and talk to my best friend at the time for 9 months prior, including the day before. We got problems in the department, and there needs to be a cleaning because this is bad leadership. I don't believe in bad rank and file. There's not such thing as a bad employee. It's leadership. And 1983, I broke the password encryption system at BYU. Almost got me banned from going to church on campus. Literally, it took a lawsuit threatening with professor support to get me so I could actually go to church on campus. You got an expert in the field. And you guys don't talk to me where you got the data. You want to talk about the encrypted messages? I could have got them when he was alive. I can't now. But you guys have a lot of problems from this. I thought one of the officers was a thug. I thought I was going to get my butt beat. And sorry for rambling, but like I said, I'm not going to stop someone. I was downstairs. My wife could have left, and I would have probably never known. I'm a software engineer. I live behind my computer. Put headphones on. I'm delirious to the world. But yet they held me down there against my will. I didn't even have a chance to say hi to goodbye to my kids. I can't see my kids. No restraining order against me. Nothing else. What do you expect me to do? I mean, if you guys don't do something, I'm a software engineer. I live on the internet. the best communication tool that man has ever known. I wrote BYU's first social media site in 1983. Do you really want to tell me what I really want to listen to what I can do?
You have 30 seconds.
Sorry, let me wrap it up. I'm sorry for rambling, but I really would expect that you guys to, deal with this. I really want to see my kids. I'm probably going to lose my life over this. Man, I've been crying for days. Thank you.
Okay, appears that's all that has come tonight for the public comment period. Any comments from our city manager tonight?
No, sir, thanks.
Okay. Any comments from any members of the city council? Well, just, and I guess just for the scouts here, take my 30 seconds of it. This is one of the things that makes our country and our system great is that we have this council has chosen to have a time period for people to come in and to make comments and to make the city council aware of things. And we are sometimes able to hear all different points of view and all different perspectives, and that helps us to do our jobs. And so we do appreciate those people that take their times to come, and sometimes we have many commenters and sometimes few, and sometimes they're very helpful and sometimes they're not, and that's okay because that's how it is. So that will bring a conclusion to our comment period tonight, and we'll move on to the business. And our first item of business is amending an ordinance that we have on our books. So Mr. Pyle will introduce ordinance 1326 for us, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So this ordinance amends a number of sections within the West Valley City Code for the purposes of adopting the 2012 edition of the International Fire Code. This is an item that we take care of every few years as those changes are made and as they're adopted by the state.
Okay. Council members, any questions or need for additional information before we take action on this?
Motion to
Go ahead.
Yeah, motion to approve ordinance 13-26.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 1326. Is there any discussion to that motion? Okay, this and the other items that we'll be taking care of tonight in our resolution section and consent agenda is items that we may move rather quickly on, but just know that we meet each week before this meeting and study, and as well as the previous week to discuss a lot of these items. And so we've had time to deliberate these. And with that, we'll call the question on this first ordinance to 1326. In favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Mr. Pyle, of our four resolutions, will you introduce the first one, 1379, for us, please?
Thank you, sir. This matter involves our involvement in our consortium of cities that are members of Utopia and UIA, the telecommunications fiber network in which we participate. And as the council is aware, over the last few months, we have been participating in funding directly out of the city revenues as opposed to through debt financed or financing revenues, some of the shortfall from an operational standpoint that Utopia has experienced and continues to experience. The resolution that's before you basically defines a mechanism by which those funds can be recovered, which is not starting right now. This is not a practical application we're making today or as of right now, but allows the mechanism for that to happen in the future.
Okay. Council members, any questions or need for additional information on this item today?
So this is just a mechanism to provide a way for them to pay us back.
To reimburse us, that's correct.
Thank you.
And Mr. Paul, this then provides no new money to UIA or to Utopia?
It doesn't provide, if by new money, sir, you mean new money that is invested into the system from an infrastructure or a build standpoint? No, it's strictly for operations.
Right, but no commitment to provide more money from the city for operations than was otherwise previously committed.
That's correct, and previously committed, no. This instrument is solely for recovery.
Okay, councilors, if you don't have any more questions, or a motion would be in order.
Move for approval of resolution 1379.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion to the motion to approve? Okay, so I'll just add that there's not really a textbook for, how to do some of this stuff. And so, maybe, it's good that we're getting these things in order, and as the agency is, the last report has shown that ahead of some of their projections and working towards some of these goals, it's good that the city is getting our ducks in a row here to find ways to recoup some of these funds and some of our investment through some of the extra things we've been able to do to help them over the past few years with their new plan. And so I'm working towards fund recovery is a light somewhere, and it's good that we have it on the books now. And if there's no other comments, we'll call the question and ask those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed?
No.
Okay, motion carries. And we'll now move on to Resolution 1380. Mr. Pyle.
Thank you, sir. This is an interlocal cooperative agreement with Salt Lake County, and allows for an easement for the purpose of erecting a pedestrian bridge along our crosstown trail, and also grants a temporary construction easement for the same project.
Okay, so this is part of the crosstown trail, and any additional information you might need before taking action on this resolution or motions?
I would move for approval of Resolution 1380, interlocal agreement.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 1380. Is there any discussion to that? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? None. Motion carries. Council, if there's no objections here, we'll cut back out of our regular agenda and move back to special recognitions. And we had a scout troop arrive here for us, so we'd like to recognize. And so you could send senior patrol leader, the senior boy leader up to the microphone. We just want to know who you are and what troop you're from and what brings you to the West Valley City Council meeting tonight.
We're Troop 151, and we came here for a merit badge.
Do you know which one you're working on?
Citizenship in the nation.
Okay.
And the community.
Well, welcome. And we're just about halfway through our business tonight. We're going to ask our city manager to introduce our third resolution, 1381, for us, please.
Thank you, sir. As part of our 6400 West Street extension project, we need to offset some wetland impacts that'll be part of that project as we go through there. And in order to do that, we are buying, so to speak, what are called wetland mitigation credits with a company called RP Wetlands and Waterfowl. And this is what is referred to, this company is what's referred to as a wetlands bank. And they have these credits it's rather convoluted and complicated sort of a legal mechanism and property interest mechanism for affecting this, but it does in fact allow us to move forward with constructing this road project. There are $60,000 of state funds dedicated to the project.
Okay, council members, any questions or comments on this, or a motion?
Move for approval of Resolution 1381.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve 1381. Is there any discussion to that motion? Okay, seeing none, we'll ask all those that are in favor of the motion to please say aye.
Aye.
And is there any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And Mr. Pyle, Resolution 1382, please.
Thank you, sir. This resolution would allow us to execute a contract for the purpose of replacing and rebuilding 3 HVAC heating and air conditioning units out at the Family Fitness Center. There were 3 bidders on this. The lowest responsible bidder was in the amount of $48,991 from American Mechanical Systems Service.
Okay, council members, any questions or comments or motions?
I think if we don't air condition the building, people might sweat more and they might lose more weight. Move for approval. 1382.
With a note that that kind of weight loss would just be temporary, I'll second the motion.
All in favor of 1382, please say aye.
Aye.
And that also appears to be unanimous. We have 5 items of the consent agenda with certain deeds and appointments and reappointments for you, council.
Move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of approving this consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. And any need for executive session? I see none, and seeing no other business, then this body will stand adjourned.